What's up, guys? I am here in Destin, Florida at my beach house for the week on Christmas break. It's the day after Christmas 2018. We're almost to the end of 2018, coming into 19, and I wanted to do a quick YouTube live, right? Wanted to kind of we'll wait for a few people to hop on. If you're just hopping on, tell me where you're from. Share an invite. Check out this view, guys. Look at the view I got right here. This view is ridiculous. Look at the waves are really big right now. They got a big storm coming through. But anyway, I'm at my beach house here in Destin, Florida. Thinking about you guys. Wanted to do a video on what you're getting hung up on, like why, you know, because I coach a lot of students. I see a lot of other people trying to wholesale, and I try to really figure out what's the difference between the people that do deals and the difference between people that don't do deals, right? And I could say there's one fundamental reason why most people will never do deals in this business. And let's let a few more people hop on, and we'll break that down. If you're on, tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're from, or you know where. Share and invite, and let a few more people hop on. So anyway, let me check a few of these settings. Share, mute microphone. I know there's a way to actually bring people on live. I'm not exactly sure how to do it. Anyway, let's get started. We got a few people on here. So anyway, let's talk about why most of you guys will not do deals, or what's the number one reason that people get hung up on when they're doing a deal, right? I can tell you this is the number one reason, because anybody can generate leads, guys. Anybody can spend money, generate leads, and get on the phone with people. But what's the number one reason why people won't ever close those deals? And you have to think with me on this. You have to really think deep. I'm going to give you the main reason. The main reason is you don't communicate enough. I'm probably like, Chris, what the fuck does that mean, you don't communicate enough? It means exactly what I'm telling you it means. You do not communicate enough, and you don't follow through with your communication. Meaning, most of the people that me and my team talk to when we're closing deals, right? We have to really push hard. Like you gotta have heavy communication, and push really deep and really hard, and really talk to them enough to where you bust through into the deal. This is what I just said. You have to have enough heavy communication to where you bust through and into the deal. Not every deal is going to be a laydown. Like we get laydowns every once in a blue moon, but most of the deals you gotta work on them, guys. You gotta work hard. Like you gotta really sit there and like communicate really heavily. Like you have to like really follow up. Like you almost have to. It's obnoxious communication. That's what I just said. It's obnoxious communication. And guys, give me a thumbs up if you can see me out. Chat, type in the chat box if you can, if you hear everything I'm saying. I'm not, for some reason, let's see, live chat, all messages are visible. Give me a thumbs up. I'm not seeing anybody post anything. I can see how many people we have on, but I don't know if I accidentally disabled the chat box. But give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that you guys are on here. But anyway, heavy communication, guys. Like anybody can generate leads. Anybody can do that. But you have to literally have obnoxious communication to bust through. Zach says audio is good. Okay, great. I'm glad you can hear me. You have to have obnoxious communication to bust through to these deals. Like you're not just going to get these deals handed to you. And most of you guys are not willing to talk to people enough because you feel like you're bothering them all the time. And you got to get over yourself, because if you're not really like flowing communication to them like all the time, especially if they're qualified, right? I did a Facebook live or a Facebook video on how to qualify a lead. It's called price, location, motivation, right? Price, location, motivation. Once I'm not gonna get into qualifying a lead, but once you qualify the lead, meaning you qualify for equity, location, and there's motivation, but they're still not ready to sign a contract. I think a lot of you guys are giving up, or you might follow up with them maybe one or two more times. If they have all those prerequisites of price, location, motivation, you should call them until they block you. You should call them until they say, hey, look, stop calling me. You're a stalker. You're a weirdo. I don't want to talk to you no more. Why do you keep calling me? Like, that's the level of communication that you have to get into in order to punch through to get a deal signed sometimes. And I think most people are just not willing to do that. Like, I don't really care what people, think. Like, when I'm calling and really trying to get the deal done, like, and obviously you got to have, you got to have certain people skills. You got to be the likable guy. You've got to be somebody that's very charismatic on the phone and caring and good at building rapport and making the homeowner feel really good about themselves. So, and there's a lot of numbering factors. The biggest one is communication. Like, communicate to the point where you just bust through that deal, right? Because if you're doing that enough, they will let their guard down. Especially, they may try to shop you. They may try to figure out or try to get a way that they can go and get more for the property. But there's a ninja way that I use too to hedge me against competition. And I ain't gonna tell you that right now because I might have some of my competition on here watching this. You have to join my course for that one. But anyway, there's different ways that you can hedge against stuff like that. But the main thing is you gotta, guys, relentless communication, following up to the point where it's obnoxious. And a lot of you guys are just like, man, I can't do that. I don't want to bother them. Man, look at these waves. I hate to get off topic. I'm at my beach house and there's like a storm coming. Check out these waves. Wait, let me switch over the phone. It is freaking crazy. Look at it. Well, that one just passed, but they're getting so big. You don't ever see waves like this in Florida, especially in the Gulf of Mexico, but they're getting big. You can't really tell how big. There you go. There's one crest. It's about 6-7 foot wave. But anyway, I digress, right? I really want you guys to understand that, like, you have to be willing to communicate so much that it's, let's see, Mike says, about to close my first deal and communication has been a struggle for me, so this is very helpful. I appreciate that, Mike. That's the main thing, guys. Communication is the most powerful thing in this business. It's not marketing. It's not who's got the best letters or who's got the best website. Anybody can do that. The reason I dominate my area, and I know that if I went into any area, I would dominate, is because my communication skills are on point. And my communications are so on point that if the lead is qualified and they have motivation, they have equity, and it's a great location. Right? Call came through. That's my 3 qualifications, right? Price. If they have enough equity, meaning the price of the property versus what they owe versus what they want, and I know there's a spread and there's equity, and then it's in a great location, a desirable location. It's not an area that's just so out in the boondocks that nobody would even buy it. And then there's the third and most important thing is motivation. Nobody's going to sell you their house if they're not motivated, right? Right, guys? You have to really probe for problems. You got to really listen. You got to understand that people are trying to force deals. If somebody doesn't have a problem in their life, they're not going to sell you their house for at a huge discount. And I think a lot of people get hung up on, they're trying to force every deal. Like, Chris, I talked to 10 people and nobody wants to sell to me for 60 cents on the dollar. Okay, then you need to talk to another 20 people, right? It's a numbers game. But your willingness to communicate and communicate obnoxiously with quality, communicate obnoxiously with quality. What do I mean by quality? Like, Chris, what do you mean quality? You're talking all weird. Quality, right? Good, high-level communication, meaning you're in rapport, you're speaking very gently to the homeowner and eloquently. You're not serious. You're not so serious that they think you're just like a weirdo. Like, you got to be like really laid back on the phone, like really chilled. Use a lot of humor, right? You have to learn to use humor. Like, I use so much humor. That's how you're gonna get people to like you. And don't talk about yourself, guys. Nobody gives a shit about you. When you're on these appointments, talk about the homeowner. Get to know them. Be interested, not interesting. Stop trying to be interesting and talk about yourself. Nobody cares about you. Let's be real. People want to hear you talk about them. And if you can do that, and you can do that well, and you can talk at a high level, meaning very high energy, Now, I don't want you to be so high energy that you're obnoxious to the point where like you just, you know, because some of these homeowners are going to be in a low point. They're not that. They may be going through pre-foreclosure. Might have gotten a divorce. They don't really want to deal with somebody. You have to almost do the mirror effect. You got to kind of. It's really an elegant and subtle skill. It's an art. It really is an art, guys. And the only I teach it as best I can, but the only way to really dial it in is to take the information I give you, go on as many appointments as you can, and you'll really dial it in. Like it's such a subtle art of back and forth finesse. It's a dance on every appointment. It's a feeling out of the homeowner and seeing where they're at as far as their emotional tone, their tonality, right? And kind of really mirroring that and using high level communication to push through to where they trust you enough to where they're willing to sign the deal right then and there. And that takes a lot of skill. That takes a lot of follow through. It takes a lot of communication skills, and it doesn't happen overnight. And your willingness to communicate and communicate deep and hard, like all the time, with high quality communication is going to be your ability to close deals. Give me a thumbs up if this makes sense. I know this is kind of, not what most YouTube video guys that are talking wholesaling are talking about. They're usually talking about how to get the deal, like what marketing channel. I think it's all bullshit. I mean, I can do deals with any marketing channel. Get me in front of the lead. Let me work the lead and work it hard enough and long enough to where you bust through their barriers, because every lead's going to have barriers that they got to get through. There's very few properties that are going to be laydowns. They're going to require work. We just closed 3 properties that it literally took, I think, 3 or 4 months before we actually closed on. I must have talked to the homeowner 20 times, but I'm also making $50,000 on that deal right now. I'm selling that deal to an investor. We're going to make 50 G's on it between all 3 properties. You got to pay the price. And the price that you're going to pay is communication. And make sure your communication skills are on point. And guys, give me a thumbs up. Please share this video, and share it out to your friends. If you're interested in learning how to communicate really well, and you want to learn how to build your skill sets, and you want to learn how to wholesale, go to chrisrood.com. I can definitely help you. I got students across the country making lots of money. I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, you probably see my checks that I post from my students that I brag about all the time. So it's a lot of fun. This business is really cool, but if you're not a good communicator, guys, just skip it. Don't even do this business, because this business consists of high-level communication skills. The marketing is all mechanics. That don't mean jack. Anybody can market. I can get a monkey to market. That don't mean anything. It's how you communicate with the homeowner, how well you follow up, and the quality of the communication, meaning how much rapport you're in, how much the homeowner likes you, how well you actually talk to the homeowner in a manner that you're being interested in them and you're not being interested, meaning you're talking about them all the time and you're making them feel that they're going to like you. People like talking about themselves. Let's be real. I ask strategic questions and I get them to talk about themselves using strategic questions. And those are some of the tips and tricks I use, right? I say tricks. It's not tricks. It's just that's how you get people to get into high-level rapport with you. And just understand that even if I do all those things right and the homeowner loves me to death, I still have to push through to get the deal, always. So most of the people that get on this live and they watch this, they're going to be like, and that makes sense, Chris. I've only talked to this homeowner maybe once or twice. And maybe you're on the fence right now and you know there's a deal somewhere, but you've only talked to the homeowner once or twice. Get on the phone and call them and text them at least every other day until they say, hey, don't call me till next week, or hey, leave me alone, I'm not ready to sell. And just understand that it really is, it's a follow-up business and a communication business. The rest is marketing. Marketing's mechanics, and it don't mean jack, because anybody can do that. The subtle art of communicating well, is the #1 reason why you are not doing deals, because you're not pushing through hard enough and frequent enough. It's all about frequency, right? How many times can I hit that lead, right, before they're finally ready to sign that paperwork? And your ability to be able to do that is going to make or break you in this business. The more communication, the better, not the less. So if you're having troubles right now, get on the phone, talk to these homeowners, shoot them a text, call them, get your team to call them. Like that's what it's about. It's all about communication, guys. So anyway, any questions while I have you guys? Do you have any questions for me that you want me to answer? You know what else too? I'm going to talk about. If I know a lot of people watch this, they probably don't have a huge marketing budget. The number one thing you can do, guys, um, to get deals if you're on a budget, work on your communication skills, and the cheapest way is to do driving for dollars and bandit signs. I'm telling you right now, those two things are the cheapest thing. If you don't have any money, do those two things, and maybe you have a full-time job. If you have enough hustle in you, and I don't want to hear this. I got a full-time job. I got students in my program that work 60 hours a week, who are making 100. And I got a guy named Clayton that's been in my program over a year now. He has a 6-figure a year job, works at a big corporate company. He made 124,000 extra on the side through my program, and he works 60 hours a week. So there's no excuse. Put in the work. Just do the work. I mean, you have some days off. There's a lot. I mean, you get off of work, go do some driving for dollars, go put out some signs. You gotta want it really bad, though, guys. That's another thing I want to talk. Like, if you don't want this business really bad, you're not gonna do well at it. Like, you gotta really push through. You gotta have that fire in your belly, that entrepreneurial spirit of like, I'm gonna get this shit done. Get the communication skills. Work on maybe doing some driving for dollars and bandit signs, because that's going to be a cheap way to market. If you can't, let's just say you can't do bandit signs because your area is like bandit sign unfriendly, do some cold calling, right? I mean, it's all work, guys. Go out there and do work. There's no shortcut. Like, I think I get aggravated when I see these, and I ain't gonna say any particular names. I see some of these ads on Facebook. Do wholesaling, never leave the comfort of your house. And it's so easy, anybody can do it. It's all bullshit, guys. Do the work. Like, it ain't easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Like, that's what makes it worth it, is because it ain't easy, right? The degree that something is hard to do keeps the barriers up and keeps the value up, because most people can't do it. But when you can do it, it becomes valuable, and it becomes a high profitable business, because not everybody can do it. But it's definitely doable, guys. You just have to be willing to put in the work. Follow through, obnoxious communication, quality communication, with humor, with rapport. Make sure you're using humor and you're building rapport. And be interested, meaning you're interested in them. You're not trying to be interesting, and you know what I'm talking about. Like, those guys you talk to, you meet them for the first time and all they do is talk about themselves. Dude, I hate that. And I know some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, all they do is talk about themselves. I don't care about you. Like, people want to hear you talk about them. You want people to instantly like you? Start asking questions to get them to talk about themselves, and they'll love you. That's just human nature, right? We want to be liked. We want to feel like people are interested in our lives. So reverse engineer that when you're talking to people. You're talking to motivated sellers, and you can use this in life in general, right? Just life in general. When you're talking with people and you're networking and communicating, if people I find even if people are asking a lot of questions about me and they're interested in me, I'll actually reverse it and turn it around. I'll cut it off, and I'll start asking questions about them to get them to talk about themselves, right? And then I admire them, right? Find something you can admire about somebody and truly admire them, and they'll feel that admiration, and they'll like you, right? There's an art to getting people to like you, and to getting in rapport and building relationships with people. So understand that. If you're just coming on here, go back, rewatch this. Gave some tips on why you're not good at closing deals, or you can't close deals. So any questions, guys, post questions while I'm here. Check it out. I'm at my beach house here in Destin, Florida. I got a bad storm coming through right now. I'm in Florida because I have a beach house here, but I actually live in Louisiana. There's a huge storm in Louisiana right now coming across, but anyway, just want to come on and do a live. Any questions while I'm here? If not, I will probably call it a day. But listen, if you want to join my program, go to chrisrood.com, book a call with my team. If not, if you go on to Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Con, I'm the sponsor this year. I was the sponsor last year also. what I'd like you to do is if you are interested in my program, maybe you want to wait, come to my booth. I'm gonna have a booth set up at Grant's event in Miami, Florida. It's February 1st. I'm sponsoring the event. Listen, start with wholesaling. If you can get the wholesaling play right, you can stack cash. You have, there we go. Sorry, I had a bad connection. Anyway, if you're going to GrowthCon, I have a booth set up. Come talk to me. We can get you set up. I guarantee I can help you with your business. You want to get a part of a community. Don't try to cheap this out, guys. If you want to learn how to do this the right way, get a part of a group. Hire a mentor. If it's me, if it's somebody else, great. But get yourself a mentor. I've had lots of mentors. Wow, look at these freaking waves. It's crazy. Oh, you just missed them. They're starting to peak and crest. Anyway, kind of getting off topic. But anyway, get yourself a mentor. Learn the basics. Be a master of the basics. And the basics are what? Communication skills, knowing your market, knowing your numbers, knowing what things cost to fix. I talk about these things in my book, right? The book, The Source of the Deal. By the way, if you haven't picked up my book, you can go on Amazon and get a hard copy, or you can get, I thought I had a copy on me right here. I don't. Looks like I don't. Or you can get a free copy. Go to www.thesourceofthedeal.com, and it'll send you a free ebook, right? So, and like I said, if you're interested in my program, go to chrisrood.com, book a call with me. I'd love to help you. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Hope you're doing well. Listen, put yourself in some uncomfortable positions in the new year. Get uncomfortable. Get dangerous, right? You want to be dangerous to your environment. You want to do things that get you really uncomfortable, and people are like, whoa, what's this dude doing? He's crazy. Yeah, dude, I'm crazy. Like, that's how you want to. You got to be crazy to be an entrepreneur, guys. And most people aren't willing to get crazy. So get crazy in 2019. Do some things that scare the shit out of you. Get out of your comfort zone. I'm not saying be reckless. Get calculated about what you do. Bob says, what's the best skip trace? We use LexisNexis. There's a bunch of different people you can use. LexisNexis, TLO is another company. You can, if you want it already skip trace for you, you can have like a guy, Brad Pickett with REI Market Pro. We use a lot of his stuff too. He pulls the lists that are already skip trace for you, so you just cold call them. So anyway, there you go, Bob. Anyway, guys, get dangerous next year, right? Get yourself in a position where other people are looking at you like, man, that dude's crazy, right? That's how you got to get. So, all right, guys, go back, rewatch this video if you just came on, and see you in 2019. Peace.